Coming up on MHS1,
we take a look at House Bill 5,
we get our flu shots,
and we cut the ribbon to our completed facility.
And it's all coming up on MHS1. Good morning, McKinney High School. Today is Friday, January 17th. I'm Sarah Appleby.
And I'm Noe Garcia, and you're watching MHS1.
Starting next year, the freshman class will face new requirements for the courses they are allowed to take throughout their high school career. Here's Tyler Aya and Marcus Farmer with more on House Bill 5.
For incoming freshmen for the 2014-2015 school year, a new structure to the current curriculum has been created as a result of the soon-to-be completed House Bill 5 in the state of Texas.
House Bill 5 is it was enacted by the legislature in the last session. And what it is it's designed to really redesign the high school graduation program from top to bottom. It establishes what they call a foundation plan, and students can graduate on this plan. However, students are required, or will be required to, or strongly encouraged to at least, choose what's called an endorsement. And what that is we like to think of it in the equivalent of choosing a major. Students who choose an endorsement will be able to put these things on their transcript, along with a host of other things that are included in House Bill 5. And the overall focus of it is to allow much more flexibility. Depending on the endorsement that you choose, you may or may not be required to take 4 years of math, or 4 years of science, or 4 years of social studies, or 4 years of English for that matter. Again, the idea is to allow kids to somewhat specialize from the time they enter high school, as opposed to kids getting to 12th grade and trying to figure out, okay, what is it I want to do?
Teachers and students contribute their insight on the implications of House Bill 5.
It seems like a pretty cool idea because one of the complaints from students is always, why do we have to be in this class? Why do I have to take this class? If you had this House Bill 5, then maybe you'd have more freedom to choose some of the upper level classes. You'd still have to have the basics, but then you could choose what you wanted when you got to be an upperclassman, and it'd be more college-like and get everybody ready to go to college.
The new House Bill 5 to me sounds honestly like a great idea because incoming freshmen don't have much knowledge about what they want to do, so it's going to give a broad spectrum and let them explore their possibilities and maybe find a career that they like.
Well, from what I know, since I teach computer science, they are proposing that students can get a foreign language credit for computer science programming, which is great for increasing the enrollment in computer science classes, but I'm afraid that's mostly why they're wanting to do it. Because I don't really see a direct correlation between programming in a programming language versus a foreign language when you're actually speaking and having dialogue person to person. So I think that they're kind of forcing the issue. Plus, when students go on to college, most colleges at this point require you to actually have foreign language credit, and they would not be accepting the computer science credit that students would be getting.
This has been Tyler Iyett and Marcus Farmer reporting for MHS1.
As construction has finally come to a close, this past Sunday, McKinney High School cut the ribbon to our brand new renovation.
Here's Christian Schneider and Aaron Cogwell with the story.
Last Sunday, McKinney High celebrated its new school and old traditions through the main event, an open house that displayed the new renovations around MHS.
The purpose behind the main event was to really serve as a reveal or a debut so that our community can come in and see all the changes that have taken place here. Our students have been able to see the progress from day to day, week to week, month to month, even year to year. But we definitely wanted to have an opportunity once the construction was substantially completed to just let the public come in and see all the changes that have happened that we're very proud of.
The ceremony featured performances by the numerous MHS Fine Arts programs and a special presentation of the Doty High Song by Doty alumni.
The best school in the district is the good old Doty Hoo.
Along with Senator Ken Paxton, U.S. Congressman Sam Johnson appeared and honored the school with an American flag flown over Washington, D.C. Then the ribbon was cut, marking the end of construction and the era of a new MHS.
Well, I just think we're so blessed in McKinney ISD to have such wonderful buildings. I think anybody could be very comfortable sending their child to school in any one of our buildings because we've been very blessed to be able to afford to keep them state of the art.
Following the ceremony, guests toured the halls and display cases, exploring the historic artifacts that define MHS. With McKinney High's renovations now complete, the school looks forward to new beginnings. As U.S. Congressman Sam Johnson said, who wouldn't want to go to this school? This has been Aaron Cogwell and Christian Schneider reporting for MHS1.
Teachers are incorporating technology in the classroom, changing the way they utilize lesson plans. Here's Silas Wingard, Drew Umberger, and Ling Jeffrey with more.
For as long as many of us can remember, students have had homework. Some teachers are taking a new approach known as the flipped classroom.
The flipped classroom is a model in which instead of getting the instruction in class from the teacher directly, the student will watch a video at home. It can be an introduction to the lesson or it could be the whole lesson. And then when the student comes to class, instead of doing homework at home, they'll do homework in class. So that's our new classwork. And so then I'm available to go around and help the students when they're doing their classwork.
The new strategy has both positive and negative results.
I think the flipped classroom has been successful. At first, I did have students that were a little apprehensive because it was different and it did mean that they would definitely have to do some homework at home. But the benefits, I believe, far outweigh the negatives because anybody can watch a video from home and take some notes.
You're always going to have some students who really like the videos and the flipped classroom and that they're able to rewind and pause and watch that lecture over and over again. And you'll always have some students that prefer the lecture.
If this teaching style is effective in algebra, could it also be useful in other subjects?
I think you can apply it to most subjects. You might have to tweak it a little bit depending on the subject, like maybe only use it for certain lectures in science or certain lectures in history, but I think you can use it in some way in all subjects.
Students give their opinions on flipped classrooms.
With the flipped classroom, you have the teacher there to help you with the actual work, and you take the notes at home where it's quieter and you can focus better.
When you're watching the videos at home, you can pause it whenever you need to and go back to parts of the video that you didn't understand, and then doing your work in class lets you ask the teacher for more help.
The disadvantages that it has is you're relying on your iPhone or your laptop, so if someone doesn't have either one of those, they basically can't do it, and therefore they don't understand it, even though that's what they're supposed to do.
Now here's Luke Lauterbach with sports.
Thanks, Sarah. Your Lionettes basketball team played Allen this past Tuesday and came out on top with a score of 54-39. Here's Dante Nunez with a look at the boys basketball team this season.
With the record of 8-13 overall, your McKinney Lions take on the Broncos tonight at Boyd.
Got Boyd coming up, and obviously we're real excited about that game. It tends to draw a lot of interest in the community. A lot of our fans will come out. They'll have a big fan crowd there. We're playing at Boyd at 7:30, and hopefully, we'll get all of Lion Nation there doing what they do. I mean, it's they've been a huge lift for us over the years since I've been here, and. I absolutely love our student crowds.
The McKinney Lions basketball team has faced adversity on the court.
Well, the season so far, we started out a little rough, but we've definitely gotten better throughout the year. A lot of the guys on our team have been hurt, and we've had a few injuries here and there, and just a couple of mishaps between some of the guys, but overall, we're doing a lot better.
The Lions plan to do well in district play and advance deep into playoffs.
Getting into the playoffs, always. That's what we want to do. We want to be playing in the postseason and have a chance to make a run. That's always our goal.
This has been Dante Nunez and Hannah Fisher reporting for MHS1.
What are you doing here?
Are you ready for the game?
Yeah, but what are you wearing?
You didn't hear? Mainstream News is holding a costume contest tonight at the Boyd basketball game. Just hashtag your pictures of Mainstream costume, and the winner gets a $50 Chipotle gift card. Come on, let's go!
Okay, bye guys.
This past weekend, your Lions soccer team played in the Dr. Pink tournament and came out winning first place in their division. Excellent job, guys. That's all for sports. Now back to you.
Thanks, Luke. There's always been a debate whether or not to get the flu shot. Here's Aiden Mulligan, Taryn Kennedy, and Hannah Hornbeck with more on this season's flu epidemic.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report that the seasonal flu vaccine caused antibodies to build up immunity toward the disease, taking a couple of weeks to become effective.
When I had the flu, I just didn't feel very good, and I laid on the couch all week, felt really lightheaded constantly all the time.
It was uncomfortable. It was not fun. I was like nausea and my muscles hurt.
Definitely fever, feeling feverish, chills, body aches, usually a cough, sore throat, headache.
Every year, the flu epidemic arises starting as early as October and lasting until May. Each flu season changes and affects people differently.
I wouldn't not advise it. I just didn't think it was for me just because of the experience I had with it. I do think, you know, for certain people, health issues, poor immune systems, they may benefit from it.
I feel that the flu shot is really important to get because the flu's been going around a lot and it's painful.
Okay, I feel like the flu shot's kind of a waste of time just because most of the time the flu shot they're giving you isn't even for like the right flu.
Although there are many opposing viewpoints over whether or not the flu shot works, there are still some common sense ways to prevent illness. This has been Hannah Hornbeck, Aiden Mulligan, and Taryn Kennedy, reporting for MHS1.
Noe, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to get into the robotics spirit.
Oh, you had me a little worried there.
Here's Nick Lindley, Sean Folgate, and Alyssa Delgado with more.
The robotics program at McKinney High School is for students who are pursuing engineering or simply have a love for technology.
Robotics is basically applying engineering. So it's the science, math, and technology, and then we apply it by building something to meet a certain task.
Joining robotics, it's a hands-on experience. So you get to fiddle with robot parts.
The robotics team recently held the VEX Robotics toss-up competition to determine the final teams to enter the championship.
It's on this field where you have 4 robots, 2 on each alliance, and they try to score as many points as they can. In the finals, one of the higher-up teams gets to pick 2 other robots to be in their alliance, and so if their team wins overall, then they get to move on.
Well, I hope students, when they're taking robotics, and what I hope they take away is learning that spending time at the beginning to design is very important. It saves you time at the end. And learning that problem solving is just a lifelong process, and this will be some critical thinking skills. And another thing is learning how to work in a team. That's a huge part of robotics.
This has been Sean Folgate, Alyssa Delgado, and Nick Lindley reporting for MHS1.
Come on, Cole. Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry right now.
Hey guys, come check this out. Come check it out. Oh my God, what is this? I don't know, but I'm gonna get some air.
That didn't stop me last time.
Have you been seeing double in the hallway lately? Don't worry, it's not just you. The freshman class has an unusual number of twins this year. Here's Noe Garcia, Grace Tauber, and Patrick Duran with more on this phenomenon.
I could bore you with technical definitions from an anatomy textbook how twins can be dizygotic and monozygotic, but in reality, we don't care about any of that stuff. But what we do care about is that this freshman class has 6 sets of twins. How about them apples?
Having a twin in a class is more interesting than just like seeing maybe your brother or something. It's kind of weird knowing that someone looks kind of like me, having them like sitting next to me or something.
Having a twin in your class, it's a lot different than growing up. Like, it's kind of awkward. You kind of don't want to look at that person. It's your sibling, but when it comes to class, you're kind of just like, don't look at me. And then at home, I guess, it's normal, kind of tease each other. Someone's always there, so it's like you're kind of connected to that person. So I feel like if you do something, sometimes you feel obligated for that person to do the same thing. You kind of don't want to leave them out, but sometimes you just want to go by yourself and do stuff and kind of leave them alone. I wouldn't say we have twin powers, but if we did, that'd be pretty cool. Because like across the room, we could just be like picking up each other's thoughts, and then just like on a test, just like okay, pick it up.
We're fraternal, so I mean, I don't know if that really counts towards us. So I don't know. The identical twins may have some connection.
My views on twin powers is that I don't believe in them. I think they're kind of silly.
We have twin telepathy, like I can read his mind, he can read my mind, and like sometimes when he doesn't want to read my mind, then like he doesn't have to, I don't have to read his mind, but like we can just go back and forth and like have a conversation inside of our heads sometimes.
This has been Patrick Duran, Grace Tauber, and Noe Garcia reporting for MHS1.
Some people like Star Wars, but this guy really does. Here's Ben Tatum, Grant Holland, and Luke Lauderback with a look at Order 66 toys.
The square is home to a variety of shops and stores, but one stands apart. Order 66 Toys is a store located at 111 South Chestnut Street that specializes in Star Wars memorabilia.
Well, I ran emergency rooms for 20 years in the military. When I got out of the military, I moved back here to McKinney. And my son lived here, and we looked at a building. It was for sale. He goes, "Dad, let's do a Star Wars store." And the idea was a vintage toy store. Now, although we have new items, everything that we have in the store has either been bought or traded from somebody like yourself that walks through the door and that might have found these toys in an attic or a trunk. Something that they collected, something that their parents gave them or handed down to them. And that's what it is. And this way I can keep away from the distributor and still keep new and current items on the shelves. We carry everything basically from the beginning of the Star Wars franchise, about 1976, all the way up to current. And not everything is collectible. A lot of the things in this first room here are all toys that you could purchase for your children, for your family members, for them to play with, or for them to collect.
Order 66 Toys likes to stay active in its community by offering many opportunities for high school clubs and organizations to earn donations.
We always like to contribute or do something for the local high schools. We run little Facebook programs, and the ones that get us the most Facebook likes, we make a donation to their club or something to that effect.
For more information, visit their Facebook page at Order 66 Toys. This has been Grant Holland, Ben Tatum, and Luke Lauderback reporting for MHS1.
Well, that's all we have for you today.
For more news, visit mainstreamnews.com.
And remember, if it's news
and it's at McKinney High School, it's MHS1.